no controversy this time around, nothing to discuss. So, I mean, I'm sure you still want to watch it back. But as you sit there now, I mean, how do you feel about your performance this evening?
It felt good, know what I mean? I won every round dominantly. I thought the first round might have got a 10-8 on at least one scorecard. But, yeah, I've just seen a little stat then. In his last 8 fights, only me and Michael Chandler have dropped him, know what I mean? So, take good things away from it. I blew me load a little bit at the end of the first trying to finish him, so I was feeling it a little bit in the second and third, but as I say, I still got on top of him and ground and pounded him and dominated the fight, so I'm happy.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about this being kind of a no-win situation for you, right? I mean, coming into that, did it make it difficult for you this week, like mentally, or maybe to feel like what meant victory for you?
Yeah, of course, but obviously a win's a win, you know what I mean? It goes without saying, but I mentioned it in other interviews, he lit a fire under me at the press conference. Like, going into the Jared Gordon fight, there was no animosity at all. I didn't really feel anything towards him, know what I mean? So it didn't want to bite down on my gum shield and hurt him. But then when I was going into that Tony fight there, when he started talking shite last week, the other day, I wanted to come in and make a statement. So I felt like I did in the first. Obviously, the second and third wasn't as dominating, even though I did just console him for both of the rounds. But, I'm gutted I didn't get the finish. But it's one of them.
You still did give him a lot of respect, though, even though he upset you. You called him a legend. So I guess, were you maybe even surprised or impressed by, what he did show you in there?
Surprised that he got out that first round, lad, yeah. Know what I mean? I hit him with some punches there, a lot of unanswered ones. And I thought that maybe the ref could have stepped in, but give Mark Smith his due. He's one of the best refs in the world. So, and Tony come back out in the second and third, ready to go. So, as I say, it could have been stopped, but it never. But I still won every round, and even though I'm a little bit disappointed to get the finish, I am happy with my performance at the same time.
Nice. Last thing for me, I mean, you're becoming a star here in the States, big Vegas stages, but of course in Europe, it's an amazing scene over there. So what do you see next for yourself? I mean, there's a ton of opponents that can make sense, but are there locations that you would prefer, whether it be here or whether it be at home?
Well, I wanted to fight on UFC 300, you know what I mean? If it would have been announced for the first weekend of April, like the 6th of April, I may have fought on it, but the wife's due between the 12th and the 17th of April, so I'm not missing the birth of my first kids. That's not happening. So I can't do that on the 13th. I've heard there's a show in Manchester in July, rumours of it, so that could be me. It's only 30 minutes from my house.
Paddy, down here. I know that you're not really in the game of calling out opponents. They seem to be in the game of calling you out. That's no different tonight. Rafael dos Anjos called you out and said he could beat you without a training camp. Is that the sort of name you'd be interested in?
Yeah, know what I mean? He's another legend, know what I mean? Former champ, just like Tony. RDA is very good. Is he coming back down to lightweight, is he? He was fighting at welterweight, wasn't he?
I think he's fighting Gamrot next.
Is he? What the fuck's he mentioning me for then? Stupid bastard. Focus on you've got to fight, know what I mean? But yeah, everyone's going to mention me, aren't they? Know what I mean? And it's just because of like the little thing round my name and the fact I've got so many followers, know what I mean? That's what it is. But as I say, I wouldn't disrespect RDA. He's former champ, another future legend of the sport, but he's another one who's getting a bit old now, and if he wants me to take him out, I will.
Everyone talks a lot about Tony and his position in the sport and what he should do next, but you're the guy who just went in there for 3 rounds with him. How did he feel? Did he feel like a guy who can't be in the UFC anymore? Or did he feel competitive at this stage?
No, I said this earlier, like, it's mad the way people are telling him to retire, know what I mean? It's the person's decision who's fighting when they want to retire. No one will ever be able to tell me when to retire. It's my decision. If Tony wants to keep getting in there and fighting, he can. I think if you put him in there with someone a little bit lower in the division, like a Marco Madsen or a Dracha Close or something like that, then he beats them.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Paddy back here, down the middle. Paddy, you talked about it, obviously everything surrounding your last fight, then obviously the injury, the layoff. Did you feel mentally, like sitting up there right now, like you exercised those demons, you came back to Vegas, you got the dub, no controversy, just how are you feeling with it compared to everything you went through?
Yeah, of course, it's a bit of redemption, but this is this sport we live in, lad. You get judged on your last performance. There's probably still people talking shit about me now, saying I couldn't finish a washed-up Tony. Know what I mean? That's the game we play, lad. The MMA fan base is very toxic, but we get on with it.
it's been a minute, but do you still care one way or the other about fighting on the same card as Molly? Because obviously that's always a scene when the two of you are competing on the same night.
Yeah, it's always nice, you know what I mean, when we get to fight on the same card, because we get to do fight camps at the same time and prep and stuff. But it's one of them, you know what I mean? We can't always fight on the same card. She's fighting in Feb, hopefully I'll be here for it. But it's just one of them. Like, in the next year or so, we're going to have a couple of more fighters from next gen in the UFC as well, so we're never all going to be able to fight on the same card.
Thank you.
Paddy, right here. Sorry, Jose. The hair. I think a lot of people were surprised to see it tied tonight. Can you kind of explain that decision, and was it difficult to kind of get rid of the signature for a fight?
Yeah, you could say that. It's quite funny though, because whenever I used to play like Fight Night or like the UFC game or anything like that, I'd always put cornrows on my character. But the reason I've done it was because I'm sick of getting hit with little punches and like left hooks and stuff like that, and people, oh, he's rocked. Like, nah, my hair just moved. I'm not rocked at all. So I think it was a little bit of a tactical one as well, because it also, my hair goes in my eyes, lad, and I've got to lift my chin up. And I think I've done a little bit of a better job keeping my chin down tonight with the cornrows. So I don't know, I might look like white boy Rick, but it's sound.
So they're here to stay.
Yeah, it's gonna stay now. Like, I'm gonna have to just keep it, because my hair doesn't get in my eyes, lad. When my hair gets in my eyes, it is frustrating, I'll be honest.
Did you have a chance to watch the main event with Leon and Colby?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on what we just saw?
Dominated them, you know what I mean? Just, it was too easy.
Do you understand now, like, the fans now kind of turning on Colby because of what he said at the...
Yeah, he's a piece of shit, lad. You know what I mean? I said this the other day myself, he's a proper piece of shit. Like, it's crazy though, the crowd, they were all cheering him on Thursday, and then today after he loses, he gets booed. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, lad. Fight fans are fickle.
And talking about your fight, I remember when Israel Adesanya fought Anderson Silva, there were moments when he was fighting him, it was almost surreal. Like, he had seen these moves so many times that he could see the setup, and he was like, oh, I know what you're about to do now. Were there any moments like that, fighting Tony, that you saw these on TV for like a decade, and then he pulled them out on you?
Yeah, when he was trying to do stuff off his back, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, I know what he's going for here. Apart from when he was like tight clinching me and putting his knee in my neck, that was a bit of a mad one. You know what I mean? I was thinking, what are you doing, Toe? What are you doing here, son? But yeah, it was, as I say, it was surreal to fight someone like Tony Ferguson, but you know, I've got people like a.k.a. mentioning me already, lad, so it's not going to be long before I fight someone else with a name like that.
Was that really your first experience with a high-level 10th Planet practitioner? Because he was constantly pulling rubber guard on you.
Lad, I'm a second-degree black belt, lad. And it's funny because I said to Paul before the fight, got me second-degree black belt in the hotel before the other week. I'm going to have to actually show me grappling a little bit here, aren't I? Because every one of my UFC fights have just come in to have a scrap. Like, I actually stuck to the game plan this time, and I'm happy with it.
Paddy, down to your right. Were you able to tell David Goggins that you were the ones carrying the boats or not?
No, lad, I was too tired. If I would have finished him in that first round, then yeah. But no, I was too tired at the end of the third there, I'm not going to lie. I did blow me load a little bit trying to finish him. I can't wait to watch the fight back and see how many punches I actually hit him with unanswered, because I reckon it was over 30, you know what I mean? But it's one of them. He survived. He's one of the toughest men out there, and hats off to him. He's an absolute legend. As I said before, no one should tell that man to retire. He can retire off his own back when he wants to.
So much has been made about your weight in between camps, but I know you said after the Gordon fight you stayed pretty disciplined. I think you only were like 182 or something like that. Is that sort of a mindset you're going forward?
Yeah, I don't ever want to hit 210 pounds again, put it that way. You know what I mean? After I beat Lever and Vargas, I went a bit wild in America. I think at one point I got on the scales in America, there was 211. You know what I mean? And this time I'm not going above 185, 190. My coaches are probably standing at the back there laughing, shaking their heads like, I bet you he does. But I'm gonna do my best, like, not to balloon up.
And I saw your ankle was swelled up. Is that the same one with Gordon, or is it a different one?
No, it's the same one with Gordon, but it's not my ankle. It's actually the front of my foot. You know what I mean? Where I've kicked him and he's checked it. It's I've just got like a little baseball on the front of my foot, but that's just a bruise. You know what I mean? It's not nothing to do with my surgery, so I'm happy.
And a score prediction for tomorrow?
9-0. the Mancs aren't going to like it. It's going to be slappy time. Liverpool, top the league. Liverpool, top the league.
Paddy over here. Obviously, a lot of fan opinion has changed about you this past year, but do you almost kind of prefer that maybe having some fans kind of put you to the side and maybe even sleep on you?
Yeah, I said this to Paul earlier today. I was like, it's mad because I've never really experienced getting booed until the press conference the other day, and I enjoyed it. Know what I mean? It lit a fire under me. It got me going. I actually enjoyed getting booed. So it doesn't matter, lad. You can love me, you can hate me, you can cheer me, you can boo me. You're gonna tune in to watch me fight. That's all that matters.
I'm sure a lot of it had to do with you going against Tony, as he's a fan favorite everywhere he goes. So do you think maybe next time out, if it's not a guy like Tony's level in terms of like fan magnitude, do you think you'll get the cheers you once had?
Yeah, of course. Know what I mean? Even though I was getting booed, lad, people still love the walkout. People still go bananas for the walkout. So, yeah, as I say, I've said it a few times now, but I'm happy. Like, ending the year on a win after starting the year and down in the dumps, very depressed. So, I'm happy.
Obviously, you just gave that wild 9-0 prediction. Where are you going to watch that game from?
There's actually a Liverpool supporters club here in Vegas, lad, and I've got the invite, so I think I'll be in there in the morning at 8:30, swinging my shirt around like woo.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Paddy. You're known to talking trash, but is there a line when you're talking trash?
Yeah, you don't speak about people's dead relatives. Know what I mean? People have mentioned stuff that I've tweeted before, but I've never mentioned anyone getting killed, anyone dying. Know what I mean? In Liverpool, we use the term terrorise very loosely. And it's like, if someone skits you, oh, your ma's fat. It's like, oh, you've been terrored by him there. Know what I mean? We use the term terrorise very loosely. It's nothing to do with anything like that. Even though people love to put words in my mouth. But I'd never, ever, ever mention someone's dead relative. If someone mentioned anything about my nan or grandma, I'd kick them in the face. So I understand Leon throwing a bottle at him. Like, I wish Leon would have snapped his jaw then. So we had to get it wired shut for saying something like that.
And then finally, for me, what's the best film you've watched this year?
The best film I've watched this year? Probably Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was a very good film, lad. I was a bit disappointed in Killers of the Flower Moon. Quite disappointed. Scorsese's lost his touch, lad.
Down the middle, Paddy. Right here. There was a lot of outside noise ahead of your kind of Jarrett Gordon fight. I'm just wondering, like, you came into this fight, there wasn't as much noise. Was that a decision that you made on purpose?
Yeah, the stuff outside of the cage leading into the Jarrett Gordon fight probably did affect me mentally. Going into it, it drained my energy a bit as well, to be honest. I didn't do a lot of other things, like last year when I come and I went to a Raiders game, I went to a hockey game the night before. I think that depleted my energy a little bit as well, know what I mean? But this year I just focused on what I had to do and we got the job done.
Training camp begins now to be a dad, twins on the way. How are you feeling about that?
Can't wait, lad. Literally can't wait. I've always said we'll have twins as well, and it's happened, lad. I'm having identical girls. It's gonna be harder camp than any fight camp, I reckon.
Last one for me. What's the post-fight meal look like?
I'm going to In-N-Out Burger for the 4x4 right about now. Know what I mean? I've got to go somewhere to the desk and then I'll be going and munching.
Thanks, Paddy. Congratulations.
You know that. Thank you very much. Have a nice night, people.